Hey everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of a Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me, as always, I have three good buddies, but I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So up first, I'll go with...
Me? Hey, this is Jeff, the guest star to this episode.
And then from there, I'll go with...
Me? It is I, your usually all the times co-host these days, Willie. How's it going?
And then the one that's left, and I'm going to point in a random direction and hope I'm pointing the right way.
That is the way I am on my screen, but I think we're different on every screen. But yeah, this is Nate, your perma-guest host, who's been taking a little bit of time, but, you know, making some time for the show when I can, baby.
Yeah, and this week, we are here to chat. Oh my god, I'm knocking things over already. This week, we are here to chat about some Phasmophobia. But before we get to that... I'd like to start off the show how I always do, which is giving a big shout out to our Patreons with an extra special thank you to one Nate Sir Cogsworth of the 7th of Juniper, Ole Jeffy Lube himself, Every Sir Adam, and DC Smokedown. You guys fucking rock. Appreciate you very much.
Man, you got two of them on this episode.
That's I know. I feel the love.
It's all for you, Dalton. We do this for you.
Oh, you warm my black little heart, as Lestat would put it. So, first things first, gentlemen, I watched Squid Game. I'm not going to get into spoilers because I know everybody's still into that. Nate, I know you're currently watching it. Gentlemen, I will never be able to hear the song The Blue Danube the same ever again. And if you don't know what that is, it's the one that's like... Oh, yeah, I'll never hear that song without thinking of Squid Game ever again.
Red light.
Green light. Oh, so that brings me to my first question about it. Actually, my only question. Nate, are you watching it subbed or dubbed?
I am watching it dubbed.
Dubbed?
Because I am a lazy piece of trash.
How is the dub? Because I watched it subbed, and it was still really good. So I'm curious how the English dub is.
I don't think it's bad. Like, I get why people don't like dubs in general, just because because obviously the mouth doesn't match up with what they're saying. But in my opinion, that's something you should not care too much about if you know you're going into a dub.
Yeah, exactly.
But I enjoy it. I think it's not bad. Like, it is just, you know, you got to get used to the fact that that's definitely not that person's voice.
Yeah, I was just curious how the voice actors are doing. But if you're saying it's good, then that's good. That's good, because I know that's something that I think my dad was interested in watching, and I don't know whether he would watch the sub or the dub. Probably the dub. But so I was just curious.
I mean, it's just easier to watch a dub, in my opinion. Like, I know like a lot of people are used to watching subs from anime and things like that, but that's not something I've really ever been huge into. So the dub was definitely the path for me to go down on this.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm
glad you guys can watch foreign films dubbed. Like, I'm really happy for you. I would feel like I was missing something the whole time, man.
It made me want to start checking out some more Korean stuff. For sure. Like, I was really impressed with the show. Now I want to check out Parasite.
Oh yeah, that was that movie that won the Oscar, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I heard that it's fantastic. And it's the season, so I might watch that tonight after we record and just see if it makes me shit my britches or anything.
How did you watch it, Jeff? Did you watch it subbed or dubbed?
I haven't watched it.
Oh, I thought you said you were watching. My bad.
No,
Jeff's on that.
I'm currently watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. From a strong recommendation from basically everyone in Tadpog. Shout out Tadpog. Tyler and Dave play old games.
There's their weekly shout out.
Yeah, I didn't have to do it. Yeah,
I've learned from the best.
Another thing that I did this week was I played a little game called Cooking Companions. And without going like too terribly much into the game, because I would like people to experience it for themselves. If you've ever played Doki Doki Literature Club, it is right up that vein. It's not for free. I'll say that it's not free on Steam. It's about $10, I think. It might still be on sale, something like that. Totally worth it, though, in my opinion. I love you guys, so I'm going to be fully honest with you. I acquired it, but next time I make some nice cash, I'm going to buy it because I absolutely want to support that dev because it's a really fucking good game. It's the first game in a long time that I was playing it, and it made me go and like shiver about 7 times throughout the whole time playing it. And like, fuck, Blair Witch didn't do that one time. And I know that's what we always go to, but fuck, that's our terrible horror game to compare everything to.
Yep. And I'm sure we'll make some comparisons today as well.
Yes. Sorry, Mike. I know you really liked that game, buddy. But yeah, Cooking Companions, I give it a good recommendation. It's a hearty pip, as the boys on Factory Sealed would say. Shout out Factory Sealed, retro gaming podcast. There, now they've both gotten their shout out. Gentlemen, I've been having some weird fucking dreams for like, I don't know, the 2 years or so now. And maybe listeners can help me out with this. I don't know if you guys know any much about dreams or anything, but they happen in the same 3 or 4 locations. It's either a big cabin that's either on a lake or like a beach somewhere. Every time it's either one or the other. It's either like a giant mall. You fucking Jeff, what are you doing?
I'm pretending to be your doctor, so I have a pen and paper.
Okay. It's either a giant mall, a big ass hotel, or an amusement park. And sometimes the hotel and the amusement park are connected, like you can go between them. It's these 4 every fucking dream. And I'm one of these people, I can remember my dreams after I wake up. And I've thought about writing them down because they would make the most ridiculous stories. And why I bring this up is because we were playing a lot of Phasmophobia. And one of my dreams ended up where I was in that cabin and a bunch of us were there. And me and this girl that I knew were the only ones that ended up getting away because I had played Phasmophobia and I knew how to get away. And
Pro tips.
The shocking thing, I got in my truck and it cranked and we were able to leave. And I was like, I can't believe this. In that moment, in the dream, I was like, I'm dreaming and I can't believe this truck just fucking cranked. Because every time it's like, I can't throw a punch. I try to open a door, it won't open. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're throwing a fucking fist through Jell-O. It's just not doing anything. And then...
And you're in the horror movie setting, too, so the moment you turn the car, it just will go...
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't want to crank. Then you have to get out and run. But no, bitch cranked right up. We were able to drive off. It was awesome.
Well, thank God this wasn't
I was one of those people that could remember their dreams. Like, I can never remember my dreams. Like, I wake up, I think about it for 5 seconds, like, I'm going to remember this. 5 minutes later, it's completely gone.
No, I'm the same. If the dream is outrageous enough, I'll remember it. Like, probably one of the dreams I still remember, this was probably 15 years ago. I was in a gunfight with Bill Goldberg in an abandoned apartment building.
Now, was it like real guns or were you flexing? Because I think he's got you beat on the flexing.
Well, he
part.
definitely has me beat in terms of guns. But no, he and I were actually like trying to survive a, I don't know, like this rival gang was trying to kill us. And we just like, nope, we've got guns, fire back.
Fuck yeah, you were the Expendables before the Expendables. That's what's up.
Jeff is the original expendable.
I just add that to his nickname. The original Expendable Ole Jeffy Lube. There we go. Yeah, you know, I have dreams, like, I can remember dreams from when I was a kid that fucking freaked me out. I got bit by a pit bull when I was younger, and I had this dream where I was...
Mr. Worldwide?
Darling.
Yeah, man, he showed up and he bit me and he said some shit in Spanish and danced off. It was fucking crazy.
Big right in your lower ribs if I get your heights right.
Oh, sorry, I about choked on that one. But it was this fucking, my neighbor's dog, and he always warned us. I was friends with the neighbor kid, and it was his uncle's dog, and he's like, that's not a nice dog, don't go near it. Come to find out, it's because he fought that dog. You know what I mean? So it was one of those situations. So we used to play in the backyard. Well, we used to play a game called Run Past the Dog, and my fat ass did not run fast enough one day and got bit by the dog. Now, luckily, it bit me and let go, which is like weird for mean-ass dogs to do. You know what I mean? So maybe he was just trying to warn me, but he warned me all right because blood started flowing down my arm. And anyway, so I had this recurring nightmare that I can still remember where I was in what looked like a jail cell, but now that I think about it, it was like a block school room. You know what I mean? With like that blue paint. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Aren't schools just prisons for our mind, man?
Yeah, psychonauts. I was sitting on this wood bench, and there was a pit bull that was just far enough from me that he could snap at my face. And I kept sliding to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left on this bench trying to get away from this dog. And finally, I didn't slide fast enough, and the dog bit me. And then the Walmart smiley face showed up, puts on sunglasses, and told me, your sale's over, kid, you're dead. And then I woke up, and I can still remember that dream. I had it when I was like 9, maybe younger than that. Maybe I was like 6. And I can still remember it vividly in my head.
That's wild.
they're fucked up, man. My brain's a fucked up place. If Psychonauts were real, I'd let them go in there to try to get all the baggage out. Also, a quick shout out to Canada Dry for thinking of putting some lemonade in their ginger ale. It's fucking wonderful.
Is that what that is? I thought you were drinking like Vault, like the Surge replacement.
I remember Vault. I drank way too much of that shit back in the day. I used to have friends who would buy cases of it because they worked at a grocery store. Anytime they got a case in, they would just buy it. So we had it on lock. Oh.
It was okay. I remember it tasting like Mountain Dew, but greener, which probably is just what it looked like. It tastes more green.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It tasted more like it looked more like the mutagen from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it tasted more like the mutagen from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, that made me think of Chappelle when he's like, "What the fuck is juice? I want some of that grape drink." Oh man, yeah. Vault was definitely a product of the time. Like, notice they haven't tried to bring that back like they brought back Surge.
Yeah.
Nobody wants Vault anymore.
We're still waiting on Pepsi Blue. Just kidding. Nobody is waiting on Pepsi Blue.
I will say, when Pepsi Blue came out a couple months ago, I was like, oh, I remember drinking this. I remember liking it. It sucks now.
I
believe that.
I remember when the Get Smart movie came out. I think it was Fanta released orange soda that was clear, and it was just weird. Like, it needed to be orange. I don't know I don't know how to explain it, but
who loves clear soda? Nobody.
Nobody.
Man, that just made me think of a wild experiment would be if you got some of those like LaCroix or Bubblies or whatever and just decanted them into pint glasses and just had people drink them and see if they could even figure out what they were if they had their nose closed.
I love the thing. It's like this shit tastes like TV static with a hint of a fruit that someone's yelling at you from another room.
I love that shit though, but it's true. I mean, it's not like Clearly Canadian or whatever where it's like a soda type beverage with the flavor and sweetness of the fruit. It's more like this is memories of lime. This is the zest of the lime.
I don't mind the berry ones and stuff like that, but my brother likes them, and I think it was like his wife or something had a case of the coconut ones, and I cracked one of those open and took a sip of it, and I was like, oh, there's nothing coconut about this. Nothing. This just tastes like seltzer water. This is awful.
Well, coconut in
the
general
strawberry one
is
and stuff's
nasty.
Oh, I'll fight you, Jeff. I'll fight coconut's
I did not
wonderful.
get the coconut water craze, man. That was a weird one. I tried it
I
a
don't know
couple
about
times,
that.
and I'm like, everyone was drinking coconut water for me. It was like supposed to be extra healthy, get you extra hydrated or whatever. And I had it a couple times, and I'm just like, what does everyone see in this?
Yeah,
Like,
I was never one of those guys.
I just like regular water if I'm going to go for water. Or like the flavored water is not bad, but like coconut water, I'm sure there's like bean water and like weird things out there too, like kale water. No, thank you.
Well, ever since my kidney stone a few months ago, I've cut out soda pretty much completely. I've been drinking nothing but tea, water, and juice. Like right now, I'm currently drinking cranberry juice. Granted, it does have vodka in it, but it's cranberry juice.
I don't think vodka will give you kidney stones, so I think you'll be all right.
You know, keep your pee rocks in your pee hole.
God, I can't even imagine. Like, I drink a lot of soda, and I've been trying to cut back, but I also drink a lot of water. Like, I have, and I know this isn't good for, like, audio things, but I have, the mason jar, and this is what I drink water out of, and I'll drink, like, 4 or 5 of these a day of water.
Well,
I drink a lot.
When I went to go see the urologist once I got out of the hospital, because that's how severe the pain was for me. I was rushed to the hospital. But the urologist says the main contributor to kidney stones is dehydration, not drinking enough water.
That makes sense.
I would have thought the first thing he said to you was, "Damn, with some big balls."
I didn't have to show him. He didn't ask.
How sad were you that he didn't?
Well, I was kind of in a rush because it's like, okay, let's get this done and over with. I got to get out of here and head to work. I don't have time to be flashing my balls to a man who just probably wouldn't even seem to care.
Excuse me, sir, I need to piss this rock out so I can go to work, please. That is America in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in another country.
Hey, Aries or Adam.
Yeah. Hey, Aries. Hi, Mike. How are you guys doing?
What's it like those of y'all who can see doctors? That's cool.
Yeah. I was thinking about it the other day because I'm having to do this, like, work thing for getting government assistance, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, I'd have to tell the lady, like, listen, I have a fucked up wrist, a fucked up knee, and a fucked up back, and no money to go to a doctor. So I cannot prove to you that any of these things are fucked up. But like, I am not lying to you; they really are. But oh well, I'll deal with it like I have for the past, I don't know, 6 years, the American way. Grit your teeth and bear it. Oh, Jeff.
Yes, buddy.
I thought about you the other day when I was going through GOG.com, and I saw Descent Free Space was on sale, the first one, so I bought it and added it to the list because I know you were like, you got 2, now add 1, motherfucker.
Because they're so great games. They're yeah. I'll say it right now.
I don't know.
They are my favorite PC games.
I've never played them, so I know nothing about them.
I strongly recommend them.
There was a time when I was playing Free Space 2 all the time. It is legitimately a great game, and it's got a lot of really great mods made for it by the fan. Like, when I say mods, I mean like Doom mods, like full campaigns people have made that have their own like stories and new ships and everything. It's crazy good.
Yeah, I believe the mod engine they use is called Blue Planet. Does that sound right? Blue Planet?
Blue Planet was definitely like, so there was a major mod called Blue Planet that I think got a lot of forks also. Like, there were multiple stories that took place in that universe. I think the main modding tool is called Fred. I think that's short for something, and I don't remember what it is anymore. It has been so long.
You know, I would
love to get back into that, man.
I really appreciate these old games, like hearing you guys talk about this and what you always bring up with Doom and having the WADs and things like that, and even going to like Neverwinter Nights and Baldur's Gate, where like people who are just fans of the game have taken the game engine and created these entire campaigns that you can go on and play for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's so cool to me. And the fact that like Neverwinter Nights and stuff gives you all the tools that you need to do that, it has made me want to try to like come up with a D&D campaign and make a thing with it. But then again, like I don't know where to start with getting people to check it out and try it, and I don't know if I can deal with this dude's fucking trash. You ruined this fucking game. I'll never play this game again because of you tubby fuck. Because, that's the internet. But
yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to do.
I will say
I would like.
Yeah, just one quick thing. There is a complete. They made a Star Fox game using the Free Space engine. I believe it's called Event Horizon.
Holy shit!
That sounds
That's
cool.
awesome.
That sounds real cool. Yeah, we'll have.
I know there was like not Battlestar Galactica, but one of those other ones, Stargate or something like that. Someone made like a Stargate like total conversion for Free Space at one point too.
That would be cool. I could see like
It
Red
might not have been
Dwarf.
Stargate, but it's one of them. With the spaceships and the starfighters and stuff. Like, I'm just thinking Stargate because there's Egyptian related themes in both Free Space and Stargate.
Yeah,
I could see that. Maybe like Red Dwarf or.
Yeah, it wasn't Red Dwarf.
But
There was another space show, but I don't remember.
Babylon 5.
It may have been Babylon 5, actually. That is ringing a bell.
Metal Jesus Rocks has a very interesting old video on his channel it's just audio from like back in the 90s when Drunken Master Paul worked for this radio station that would have like gaming people call in and everything, and it was this interview where a bunch of people were leaving. Oh shit! It was when some company had just shut down, and it was talking about it was whoever was doing Babylon AD and stuff like that game getting canceled completely, and it was supposed to be about Babylon 5. Like it was a whole computer game based around that, and it was like tribes. Oh, it was Sierra. I'm a fucking idiot. It was when Sierra was shutting down. They kept they were interviewing all these people who worked at Sierra, and like a lot of them couldn't talk about some stuff because of non-disclosure agreements and things. This one guy just calls in and he's like, I don't give a fuck about that. Here's exactly what's been going on, and just starts laying into everything. He's like, fuck it, I don't want the money. It's good shit. But yeah, I thought about you, grabbed that. Figured that would be good to add to the list. I'm sure we'll bug you again to come on whenever we get to those games because I know you love them.
I'd be more than happy to come on. There's some other games on your list I would be more than happy to come on for.
Hey, just let us know, man.
You want to give us any teasers right now, or do you just want to tell us in private?
Oh no, okay. Borderlands I would love to be on. I have probably the most experience with the second game. It's my favorite in the series. So when that ever shows up, I'd be more than happy to come on. Serious Sam, Dalton, I know you got a history with that game as well. Unreal Tournament, same with that.
Oh, so you want
Getting
to get
hard.
some boomer shooters? All right.
Getting hard over here. Jesus, is it warm?
You're just making Dalton's entire night, man. Come on.
Well, I see his mic rising all of a sudden. I was wondering what was happening.
I've always loved the Borderlands series because like it's cool that you can play co-op, but you don't have to play it co-op. It's kind of like you can drop in and out and then also play single player, but then hop back in and play together. So it's not like you don't have to be waiting on your buddies, but if your buddies are playing, you guys can all hop in and go fuck some shit up.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds awesome. I've never played the series, so that sounds really cool.
I started with the second game, and I loved it. I still think highly of it.
I played a lot of Borderlands 2. I mean, I'm sorry, Borderlands 1.
Yeah, I think our buddy Paul Horn is into that series, too.
I think so. Maybe.
Oh, man, we might have a whole Borderlands roundtable.
That'd be fun.
But there's a couple other games I would like to be on. I would love to be on for Final Fantasy IX.
Is that on the list?
It's on the list.
Yeah.
And you also, according to the list, you also have Grimm to come on as well.
Nice.
Yep.
And
yeah,
I just lost it. Oh, obviously No Man's Sky.
Oh, yeah, I would make you come on that one.
Dragon.
Can I get that? Can I get that sentence again, Dalton? Just run that one by me one more time.
Yeah, let me just say I would make him come on that one.
Gotcha.
I thought that's what you said.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I just mentioned Grimm. I got to give Grimm a quick shout out because it was my birthday this weekend, and Grimm got me a copy of 30XX for my birthday. So
hell yeah,
plugging myself here, I might be streaming that pretty soon.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I didn't want to say anything, but I was really hoping when you said you got 30XTX that you were going to stream it.
Yeah.
Also, sorry I pronounced it 30XTX. I'm a weird Homestar Runner guy.
Yeah, it looks really cool, and it looks like one that'd be fun to like actually progress live on stream with.
Yes.
So I think I might try 30XX on stream.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear
that. Yeah, so shout outs to Grimm, man. Thank you so much, Grimm. You the man.
Yeah, Grimm's the man.
Usurper Grimm.
Usurper Grimm.
I put 30XX up there with like oh god. Was it Reventure, and then the one that Tyler and Paul Korn, I've seen both of them talk about how much they like it. It's where like when you die you make another character.
Rogue Legacy.
Rogue Legacy. Yeah. I think they're along those veins, except you don't switch characters. It's kind of just you go get your best run. And so maybe it's also like Hades-esque in a way.
It sounds like it's
I was kind of hoping it would have some kind of like Hades or Dead Cells type replayability to it.
I really enjoyed 20XX, so I think you'll really dig 30XX.
Nice.
Gentlemen, since it's spooky season, we did play some spooky game, and let's talk about some Phasmophobia. Now, Nate and Willie, I want to start with you guys because you guys came around on this game before Jeff and I did. So if you want to kind of give the rundown of like y'all's first experiences with it, playing it with Game Buds and all of that jazz, that'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Like, so when this game was pretty much at its peak, it was like, I think it was shortly after everybody was starting to get sick of Among Us in the Game Buds room.
Yep.
The game that almost destroyed us.
It did.
Yes, the game that brought us all together, then almost destroyed us. But a few of us started playing Phasmophobia. It was guys like me, Dave, John, Willie,
Laxby,
a few others.
Dave,
Laxby, yeah. And so, just a good time, and like, we were just having fun trying to figure out all these ghosts and stuff. And that's the thing that I think that makes this game so good, is it's for multiple people at a time. Like, I wouldn't want to play this with strangers, but playing with your friends, that makes this game such a blast. And being able to play it with the Game Buds about a year ago was when this was all going down the first time, was a blast. And coming back to it now, so good.
So when we first played it, this game, I think it was officially released, but it had the feeling of an early access game. Like, there was a lot of it that was kind of janky, a lot of stuff that kind of felt like default 3D Unity assets. I don't even know if it's made in Unity. It probably isn't, but it had that same kind of feeling to it. A lot of stuff would just clip through walls, or every character would stand really weird. And I mean, part of that's the fact that it was a small team. The game's art came virtual. It came with VR integrated, but not mandatory from the start. And like, so it felt really weird back in the day. But they made a major update, like maybe a month or so ago, I think. And it's nice. But yeah, we had a ton of fun with it back in the Game Buds. And we played it for a few weeks, and we just kind of all thought, hey, we've kind of seen it. A couple people got really obsessed and started playing like grinding with like pairing off and grinding, and I was just playing with it whenever the whole group got together. But it was pretty neat.
Yeah, one of my favorite memories of the game in that early stage was there was one night, it was pretty late, it was just me and Dave playing, And I think this had more to do with us being bad at the video game than the game actually trying to kill us. But neither one of us could figure out how to open this door. Like, if the hunt would happen, we both survived. We were stuck in this little tiny bedroom together. Then after the hunt was over, we would go to the door, try to open it, and neither one of us could figure it out. And then it would start again. And eventually we both just died in this room because neither one of us could figure out how to open up a door. It was one of the most hilarious things.
That's awesome. And so, I don't remember exactly how we decided to play this. I think we just kind of chose it, didn't we?
Yeah,
I think the three of us were talking about me, you, and Willie, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? This is gonna be a fun one. We got to get a fourth person in on. Like, who can we get in?" And we started talking around. And then it was just clicked to me that Jeff was the perfect dude to play this with because I knew he didn't have much experience with it, and I thought he would have a lot of fun playing it with us.
And did I? This was a. I guess I'll say it right now. This was a shitload of fun. I enjoyed the hell out of this game, but I think it maybe is just because of the people I played with. I'm sure that has something to add to the experience.
I meant to check into it. They did, with the last update, they did add a single player mode as well, which I can't even imagine going in there by yourself and trying to do all that shit. No. You know what I mean? I feel like part of the fun is like having your friends help you. So I didn't necessarily jump on it, but like I meant to check it out just so I could touch on it. But yeah, just the people playing really was great. You know, that was the night that we played for hours. And then, Jeff, once you went to bed, Dave hopped in, and we played with Dave for a while. Like, and that was great. And I had a lot of fucking fun with it, man. Like, there were some times that legitimately freaked me the fuck out. I wouldn't say I ever got, like, scared, but there were times that you were just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah.
I remember one of the early games that the four of us all played together, me and Dalton both got killed by this ghost, and then we were just standing in the driveway while y'all two were freaking out, just all talking about their experience with the ghost and how it murdered us.
Well, if it's the game we're thinking about, I think it was me and Willie. We were just standing there in the truck because the safe room is it's like a box truck. That's where it has like all your equipment and such in it. So you're in there, you're fine. Yeah. And we were just looking out at the front of the house. It was the cabin in the woods. Yep. And at this point, we already know you were dead, Nate. And you went in, Dalton, just like, okay, I'm going to try to find him, just see what happens. And then we just see a light at the entrance to the cabin, and it just stayed there. That light just stayed there for a long time. It's like, what the hell are you doing, Dalton? And Willie, when you were over there, it's like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah, so from my perspective, and then I want to hear the beginning of this, which is Nate's perspective. So, like, they're like, we're all in the truck. Nate's like, let me go in alone because the ghost will come out by it when it's by itself. Okay, so Nate goes in there. Well, then a hunt starts, and we don't hear from Nate. So I'm like, all right, I'll go in and check on him. So the hunt's over. I go inside. I walk upstairs. I'm walking around, and go ahead.
I just wanted to do a moment to define terminology. So in the game, the phrase "the hunt" refers to like a irregular period in the game when the ghost is active and actually trying to go for the players and kill them.
Oh yes, yeah, that's where you need to hide, basically.
Run, hide, or die, basically.
Yes, which is funny enough the tagline for the game Outlast. So I go in, I'm looking around, I make my way upstairs, I get kind of lost. I end up in like a laundry room, and I'm like, no, he was in a bathroom. So I make my way out. I'm on my way into the bathroom, and Willie comes over the intercom, the walkie-talkie, and he says, hey, don't worry about it, Nate's dead, just get out of there. And I'm looking at Nate's stuff on the ground, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I forget, so this game has push-to-talk. You have your local chat, where if you're around each other, you can hear each other talk, or you have your walkie-talkie for distance chat. I forgot to hit that. So I'm like, all right, I'm on my way back, and I start walking back, and then Willie comes over I keep wanting to say intercom, the walkie-talkie again, and he's like, hey man, just respond, let us know that you're okay and everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, I need to hit the button. So I hit the button. I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm on my way back. I just saw his stuff. I'll try to get out of here. We can go. And Willie's like, all right, man, because. And he cuts out, and my light starts flickering, which means a hunt is starting again. And I'm like, fuck. Now,
it's not so much that the ghost is actually in very close proximity of you. That's
is that what that?
Yeah.
Oh,
so like
okay.
if your flashlight is starting to flicker, that the ghost is like basically in the same room as you.
Okay. Well, I immediately was like, oh shit. So I start running, and there's the thing about this game is all of your characters are heavy smokers, probably by 3 packs a day, because you can run all of about 7 steps before you are absolutely winded. And I make my way downstairs. I'm running towards the front door. Front door just slams in front of me. And I'm like, oh, shit. I got to try to open it, and it's locked. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I just keep clicking the door, and then these fucking creepy fingers reach around my face. And all of a sudden, I'm dead. And then I see Nate, and he's like, hey, buddy. Welcome to the Afterlife.
Yeah, I'm just chilling there. I was watching this whole thing happen from the inside of the house, because when you're a ghost in this game, you can kind of just wander around, and like doors no longer apply to you, and you're kind of a ghost yourself. So I was just walking around following Dalton as he's getting stalked by this ghost.
I remember the first thing you said to me was, so how was your first death? And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. It was so intense.
Yeah, it's a funny story. Like, I love that stuff. But I think one thing that might be kind of important is actually talk a little bit about game mechanics, because I think we kind of just jumped into our fun stories, but there's probably people that are listening that haven't played this game.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, Willie, I know you're pretty good at like going over like basic mechanics. I have a list of like all the items and what they do, but do you want to kind of go over a quick rundown of the first few, like what the game's all about, what we're doing?
Sure, okay. So the idea of the game is you're kind of a paranormal investigator team, kind of similar to if you've seen one of those shows like Ghost Hunters or something like that. It's like that, and you use equipment that's similar to that. The only difference is the ghosts are very, very real and very malevolent, and so you have equipment like a EMF reader, which determines any ghostly activity in the area. You have a thermometer, which you look for cold spots throughout the house, etc., etc. Anyway, as you keep on going, it's like your idea is basically you're trying to locate the ghost in the house. So you figure out what room it's in is your first priority. And the house could be anything from a small like house to a farm-sized house to even larger buildings such as a high school or a former asylum or prison. And your first goal is to locate the ghost. And your second goal is to identify the kind of ghosts. So you have a notebook with like 20-something different kinds of ghosts from various mythologies. You have things from, the West. You got like random Japanese and Korean ghost names in there. You got like all kinds of stuff. And the name doesn't always correspond to what you might think, but there's a little description of it. And each ghost has its own characteristics in terms of how it'll hunt the players, but it also has its characteristic evidence that it'll leave.
Yep.
So your main goal is to use certain pieces of primary evidence gathering to figure out exactly which kind of ghost it is, because you're given a list of 4 objectives whenever you enter the game, and your top objective is always identify the ghost. And then there's other things you can do too for secondary achievements to get more money. But the main goal is basically find ghost, figure out what it is, get out alive.
Yeah, and there's a certain set of tools that you can use to help you determine what the ghosts are. So the first 2 that are the most important, in my opinion, when you first walk into the house that's being haunted, are the thermometer, because it's easiest to determine where a ghost is with a thermometer just by going around and seeing where the cool spots are in the house. You don't have to get any like big one-time spikes that happen like you do with some of the other equipment. And the other one that I think is super helpful is the EMF detector, because you can kind of walk around with that and it'll spike from 1 to 5 to determine where the ghost is. So the 2 best tools for finding the ghost initially, in my opinion, are the EMF detector and the thermometer.
Yeah, absolutely. I always made sure to grab the thermometer. That was my thing. I liked going around testing all the temperatures.
Yeah. And like Willie was saying, there's a bunch of other things that can qualify what the ghosts are. So it's like there are certain things that ghosts do that help you eliminate other types of ghosts. Like, for instance, with the thermometer, if you can get temperature below freezing, that's a very specific qualifier. And then an EMF detector, if you can get that to reach that 5 point, that's another big qualifier for it. The other items that help you qualify what type of ghost it is there's something called a spirit box. And if you've ever watched any of these ghost hunting shows, it's like the radio they turn on that like goes between frequencies.
EVP is what they call it on those shows.
No, that's just a voice recording. EVP is a voice recording. Spirit box.
Oh, is it? Well, I'm dumb.
Yeah, spirit box is different. Spirit box is when they're talking into the radio and you can actually make a voice out from the radio that's like, die. So like, That's when you're using that, you're waiting for a ghost to say some spooky shit like die. And there's also a ghost writing journal, which you can instigate the ghost until they'll actually write some spooky shit in it like die. So those are 2 of them. And then you also have a UV flashlight, which you can use to find ghost fingerprints, like that they touch something. You can kind of identify it with a flashlight that's UV, so you'll shine the purple light over it and it'll glow green for you. And then you have something. Then you have a video camera which you can catch ghost orbs on. Which I'm sure if any of you've seen those shows, you've seen like the little orbs going in the camera feeds, which is oftentimes can be confused with dust. But we won't go there. And then the last thing is something I think they added since the first time we played called a dots projector, and it'll like spew a bunch of like green dots, kind of like a grid line. So if the ghost walks through it, you'll get a silhouette of them, and that thing never works. I've never seen that thing work.
Yeah, we did not have good luck with that thing at all.
So those are the main tools that you use to identify what type of ghost you're dealing with.
Yeah, and like Willie said, I mean, there's all kinds. One that stuck out to me that surprised me that was on the list was Yokai, because all of my knowledge of Yokai comes from Yokai Watch, which is like a kid's show and Pokemon style game. So I'm like, are Yokai really gonna kill you? But yeah, apparently so. At least in this version. At least this version of a Yokai. But then you have like Onis and demons and shades and
revenants.
Oh yeah, fucking mean motherfuckers.
And my personal
and I like. Oh, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, and my personal favorite, Banshees, which we'll get into once you want me to talk about my probably the best experience we had during this game.
Yeah, I want to touch on that in just 1 second. Now, one of the factors with the ghosts, and if you said this while I was looking at notes, I apologize, is that some of them will come out with the entire group in there. Other ones only want one person. So there are certain ghosts where we have to figure out where it's at, and then we have to send one person in there so the ghost will show itself.
So when you enter the game first in your whiteboard, there's a whiteboard at the back of the truck, and it'll say like the objectives for this mission. So the main objective, 3 secondary missions. It also says the ghost's name, because the game uses always on voice recognition, and even if you don't hold one of the buttons down, the ghost will respond to things you say.
Yeah.
So like it does respond to stuff like that, and the ghost's name can be used to agitate it. And it also says whether it responds to multiple people or if you have to be alone for it to fully respond. Thanks for pointing that out. I completely forgot about that. And that's some of our most difficult hunts, including the one you guys were talking about where Nate and you, Dalton, both died, were alone ones.
Yeah, and that's also actually a really cool mechanic in the game, too, with how it uses your microphone against you. So, like, it can hear you just talking, and it'll know... I swear the thing can tell if you're kind of freaked out or not when you're talking into it, because it'll mess with you even more, I feel like, when you're a little freaked out. And I like the way that it has, like, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but, like, the local speak. So if somebody's within earshot, you can press that one button, and they'll be able to hear you if they're within earshot, and then you also have the walkie-talkie.
Yeah. And it also helps
The thing about the radio is, when there's high ghost activity, the radio stops working. So it's not like, I'll just always radio all the time. Like, it's best to use local when you can get away with it.
And, like, for instance, I believe it was the high school was super big and super dark. Mm-hmm. So the local chat was good for, like, hey, I'm this way, and then like you could follow their voice, and you could kind of like hear the direction that they're talking and make your way that way. Because there was a lot of times that we got separated, and I was like, oh shit, where'd they go? But I would hear one of y'all talking to the ghost, like, all right, Mary, where are you? And I would be like, all right, where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? Okay, this room. All right, so I'm not alone anymore. But yeah, let's Jeff, this experience that you're talking about, I believe it was the second or third house that we went into. So let's hear it from your perspective, and then we can give you ours.
Well, the level we were on, it was just like basically your basic tutorial, like suburban house home. You know, nothing fancy. It was just, hey, your house is haunted. But anyway, so we figured out where the ghost was originating, like where its spirit was the strongest, and that's basically when you're using items such as like the spirit book or the EMF reader. You want to put it as close to its center as possible. So we found out it was upstairs in this hallway, and at this point, I believe Dalton, you were in the truck. Nate, you had already gone or heading towards the truck. It was just me and Willie upstairs towards all the equipment, and all of a sudden, our flashlights just started flickering. And that's when we were both just like, okay, we got to get out of here. So I just started taking off down the stairs, and I just looked behind me to see if you were right behind me, Willie. Well, sure enough, there is our buddy the Banshee, and I get a couple. It's not a solid figure, it stays, and then it flickers out of existence like every step it takes, it's hello, gone, hello, gone. But sure, and its right hand, it directed my focus, and I just yelled over the radio, "It's got an axe! It's got an axe!" And I just started running away. And right as I got to the front door, it locked. So now I can't open the door. I turn behind me. There it is. It's walking right towards me. So I get on the walkie-talkie and I just yell, "He's got an axe! He's got an axe!" And just as soon as the eyes or the hands were starting to go over, my face, I just yelled as loud as I can. And basically that was the last thing you guys heard from me before I was killed.
So I was definitely in the house with you because I was trying
yes,
to get the
that's
door
right. You
open.
were at the front door with me. That's right. Nate was in a truck.
You were the middle one in this sandwich.
You watched me die. That's right. You just refreshed my memory.
I'm like,
Oh, I saw it from the rear. Dalton beat you to the door. You were on your way to the door. It was following you. I was like the fourth one in this caravan. If the ghost was third, you were second, and Dalton was first. And he was just beelining straight to you. That's how one of the reasons I figured out what kind it was because it says it specifically pursues one person. I'm like, that thing is not letting off of Jeff until he is no more.
So I'm trying to get the front door open. It's locked. So I'm just like clicking it and clicking it and clicking it. And I hear, "It's got an axe! He's got an axe! Ah!" Gone. And I'm like, oh fuck, Jeff's dead. Oh god, Jeff's dead. So I'm trying to open the door, and then the door unlocks, and me and Willie both are able to just like flee from the house, like, ah, fuck. Come running in like, Jeff's dead, Jeff's dead, Jeff's dead.
I'm inside the house, just like, wow, so this is the afterlife. And then actually I found the ghost, just walking around. He started off upstairs, he went down through the kitchen into the garage, and then he just vanished. I never saw him again. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in the truck, see what the boys are discussing. And sure enough, they were talking, and it's just like, it was my yelling is just like, it chose him. It would not leave him alone. It's like, it might have been a banshee. And sure enough, it was a banshee. So it's like, yes, my death won us the game.
Yeah, it was just such a good moment because that is exactly what that game's about. It's just like you see your friends screaming and then they're gone.
Yeah. Two moments that happened to me that stuck out that really cracked me up being the person who died was we were in this one house. It was when Dave was playing, and we were walking around and we found fingerprints. It was in the same house that you got killed in by the axe guy. And we're over to the left where the door goes into the garage, and I see a handprint on there. We've got the green dot thing going. We have the EMF. Like, everything is in this room that we need. Like, I brought in 2 crucifixes. Dave had the candle in there lit. Like, everything was in this room. And the ghost would not come out. So I go back to the truck. I grab another crucifix. I bring it in. I throw it down on the ground. And I'm looking at Dave and Nate. They're both just standing in this room with me, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to go look in the garage again. I open the garage door. As soon as I opened the garage door, a hunt started. The ghost was right there, and it immediately killed me. Now, when I opened it and my shit started flickering, I said, oh shit, and started to run. I didn't make it very far, and that's where the picture of my body through the fucking wall came from. Was that ghost fucked me up.
Yeah, and he clipped straight into that wall. It was like I remember just me and Willie looking at it like, whoa.
That is the most dead I have ever seen anyone in any game.
I was just like, how did that happen? Like, with Dave and Nate right there, as soon as I opened that garage door, that shit was on me and killed me real fucking quick. And it was like, well, I guess he was just waiting behind there for somebody to fucking open it again. Oh, that dickhead. And then the other one was the... Oh, my mind just blanked. So if y'all want to talk about something while I try to...
Well, I was just going to say, another key important item that the game has is a normal photo camera. And that actually adds to the objective, the bonus objectives, take a picture of a ghost, which actually leads us into another one of our experiences, this was the last game right before I had to go to bed. I think right before Dave joined. But we had already done everything there was to it. It was like, okay, we know what kind of ghost it is, but we didn't do any of the bonuses. So it's like, let's get these bonuses done. And we pretty much did everything except the last one, which was take a picture of a ghost. So now we're just taunting this ghost. It's just like, come on, I think the ghost's name was James. It's like, come on, James, where you at, James? James, I bet you don't have a big dick, little dick James. And actually, I want to say that's actually part of the thing that makes me think that the ghost responds to you insulting it. I think that's how clever the AI is. At least that's how it felt to me. But after we're insulting this ghost for, I don't know, a couple minutes, I just all of a sudden see a figure just appear. I believe it was right behind you, Dalton, and I immediately I'm holding the camera. I just went click, 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 taking as many pictures as I can, and we all just ran out of there.
I remember that happened. Like I was standing. I think it was me actually, because I remember I was like standing like the kitchen sink.
Yes.
And then the
Oh
ghost
my
appeared,
God.
like, right behind me, and everybody saw it because it was a freaky looking thing.
Yeah, the power went off, and our flashlights just turned, and there's Nate, and right next to him is this fucking ghost holding some kind of weapon, and we were like, oh shit. Yeah, and Jeff's over there just click, 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 click. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Like a true
Jeff
journalist.
Was in that moment, he like steadfast and strong, taking pictures while this monster was standing next to me.
The one that I was trying to remember was another one that happened with Dave, and I think this was one of the last games that we did. It was one of the 2-story houses, and the ghost was up in the hallway somewhere, up on the second story, and it was just me and Dave up there, and because I don't remember what it was. Dave said that he's like, I'm a coward, I'm not going anywhere by myself. I'm just throwing that out there. So we were like, yeah, no worries. So me and him went up there, and dude, we were up there forever, lighting the candle. I threw down a crucifix, and nothing was happening. And I looked at Dave, and I'm like, man, this thing just does not want to come out. And as soon as I said that, my flashlight started flickering. And I said, oh shit. So in local chat, I just said, Dave, run over here to me. So Dave comes running over to me, and I turned to go back towards the hallway, and across, so there's a little hallway, and then there's a doorway to another hallway. Well, in that second hallway was the ghost looking at me. And I was like, oh shit. And then it flashed forward, and it was coming through the other hallway, and I was like, oh god. So I don't know why I did this, but I just went to local chat and went, Dave, run. And I threw down the crucifix in front of me and then walked straight into the ghost. So the ghost killed me, but Dave was able to run away. And when they came back up, that crucifix was burned. So it was like, it would have killed Dave too had I not thrown that down. But oh man, I was like, sacrifice!
You're gonna get down Mr. President on that ghost.
Yeah. I did.
One thing we should mention, when this game, for every time you complete a mission, you earn money, and you also earn experience, and you use the money you've earned from your job to buy items that helps you with your next ghost hunting. But
I just want to say, I would not be a ghost hunter if it was paying me $20 per thing. No thanks.
Well,
but continue.
It helps that the most expensive item is $100. But unfortunately, you can't get that item until you're level 8, I believe. Hence, that's where the experience comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the little RPG element where you have to play more to kind of improve yourself.
But it's also a risk and reward thing too, because everything you bring with you, if you die, you lose all those items.
Yep.
So it's also a thing where you divvy up who's going to take the risks. Is someone financing the trip and he gets to sit in the car while everyone else does things, which isn't how we played it at all, but is a strat people have used.
Yeah. And there's some definitely upgrades that you can get from the item shop, because the game will give you these free flashlights, which are just a little circle in front of you. But me and Willie, since we've been playing a lot, we made sure to always have the van fully stocked with strong flashlights, which makes it a lot easier to see what's going on. So I don't know that Dalton and Jeff ever had to play with a standard flashlight.
I did the very first game. I used a regular one because I think everyone had was like, oh yeah, we didn't stock the van. So, and I think we might have just canceled that one and went into another one. But I did explore the house a little bit with the little dinky normal one, and it's just such a dim little yellow light, and I'm like, oh my god, you're not gonna see anything with this.
Well, I will say,
but
you practically be better off with the UV.
Go ahead, Nate.
I was gonna say there's some of the other items, because we were talking about how there's a primary objective is always to find the ghost.
Oh yeah.
But there's also other objectives give you, Jeff was talking about taking a picture, so that's something you'll want to have a photo camera for. But there's some other items that'll ask you to do stuff with too. Because there's one that's try to get the ghost to walk through a pile of salt, so you take a salt shaker with you. and pour it on the ground, try to get the ghost to walk through it. And then sometimes it'll tell you to use smudge sticks to cleanse an area that the ghost is using. And that's basically what smudge stick is. Like, if you ever see people walking through sage in their house to try to cleanse the area.
My ex used to do that.
Yeah, so that's basically what that is. And there's just a couple other things, too, like, because you also have to use a lighter if you have the smudge sticks. And there's also something where it tells you to get a ghost to blow out a candle, which seems very specific.
Maybe it's the ghost's birthday.
Yeah, maybe. And so, like, there's a whole bunch of items like that. But one of my favorites that you unlock at a later level that you can buy was the head-mounted cameras.
That's the first time we've used those, and those were so cool.
Yeah.
So the head-mounted cameras are, you can, like, have up to 4 of them for everybody in the van. And then, like, they can strap it to their head. And this isn't something we mentioned before, but there's usually, like, a security camera or two in the areas you're at. And you can toggle between them on the computer in the van. If you have head-mounted cameras, you can toggle between all your teammates' head mounts, too. So anything that they're seeing when they're walking through an area, you can see as well if you're the one sitting in the van.
And those cameras,
We should
I was
also
going to say,
point
those
out,
cameras are essential when you're in those big areas like the school or the asylum.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We should point out, too, you only have 2 inventory slots, not counting your flashlight, which is shoulder-mounted, like in Doom 3 BFG edition. But,
Boo.
yeah, I managed to do a Doom reference. We good. You only get 2 inventory slots. The head-mounted camera does not use up an inventory slot, so you get all the benefits of video camera, but without using up a slot. So you can still carry, a primary detection tool and a secondary objective thing.
And in the van, being able to toggle the night vision is also fucking awesome. Like, and yeah, there were times that we'd be in the asylum, and Jeff, I think it was me and you, stood in front of a camera for like 15 minutes until they could find their way back to the van, and then look through the cameras to figure out which camera we were on, to then know on the map what camera we're looking through for locations. Like, it's really cool. Like, you actually had to work as a team to try to figure out whereabouts in these bigger places.
Well, there's like no middle. It's just like you got the tiny suburban homes, and then you just got these monster. Obviously a high school is huge in real life, but it's just like there's like nothing in between. It's like, go visit this abandoned grocery store or something like that. At least not to my knowledge. But it's just
No, that would be awesome.
Closest
like
to
the
a
farm was
mid-size
like the
one might have been
medium.
the prison, maybe.
Or that and the farmhouse, I would think, because the farmhouse is a
farmhouse.
pretty
Maybe the
big
farmhouse,
house
yeah.
itself. But yeah,
The prison felt like a big one to me, too. I mean, I feel like the high school is the most disorienting.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like, we're trying to come up with the middle-sized ones, but yeah, the high school was just, it was so hard to figure out your way around that. The asylum wasn't as bad, but it was still pretty rough. I feel like the prison was kind of like the in-between. Like, I don't know if you got to play the prison, did you,
no,
Jeff?
I didn't.
it's a big U, basically.
Yeah.
That
The thing about the asylum, though, that we kind of lucked out that the ghost was right next to the stairwell that was pretty close to the entrance, too. So we had a pretty
Yeah,
short
and
track.
the high school, the ghost was basically on the other side. We had to use like a side entrance just for a easier exit and entrance.
The high school was the one that we about gave the fuck up until I was in the van and saw that shit on the camera. And it was like, oh fuck, it's in the gym. And then Willie went in the gym and was immediate negative temperatures. He's like, oh shit, it's definitely in here.
Yeah, that ghost turned off the power really early, so the whole place was reading cold, and we had a false read that it was in the upstairs, out inside the stairwell or whatever. But it turns out it was in the gym, and we just almost gave up. But Dalton was just flicking through cameras like, oh.
What really sucks about that, too, is we were looking all throughout the entire school. The gym is literally just straight through the front door and down down the hallway.
Yo.
Like, it's right in front of you as you go through the front entrance. And
Yeah, but
somehow
that-
we just missed it there at the beginning, and we spent the whole. We'd been doing that because like the thing about it is like a hunt at the high school, somewhere like that. Those can take like 30 to 45 minutes, whereas the ones in like the little houses are like 15 minutes.
Yeah, we were in the high school for a long time, and that was the Hantu, and their big thing was they make everywhere cold because they move faster in the cold. So their big thing is turn the power off and lower the temperature of the entire place, so that way they can move quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and dude, I still to this like right now I do not know where the power box to turn the power back on in the high school is.
No.
It's in the basement.
Not a clue.
Probably.
One thing I've really enjoyed about this game too is we've all kind of agreed to just play the game instead of like hitting the wiki for literally everything. So there's a lot of stuff we don't know what we're doing, and I think it makes it a little spookier that we don't fully know the rules of the game we're playing. Like, I feel like that's a completely different experience to if you were like an expert and you were speed running each run basically.
I can't imagine
I think we
wanting
got-
to try hard at this game. You know what I mean?
I feel like we get the atmosphere of the way we
I will
played it.
say one thing I do want to mention, the game itself, I'm not sure, those who have never played this, it's in first-person view. Mm-hmm. And so,
yeah,
the environments themselves, they look pretty darn good, but the game itself still kind of has that early access feel to it. So, like, if you're shining your flashlight somewhere, the shadows might just be very buggy. But, I think that just adds to the atmosphere. Is that just the game bugging out, or is that actually, am I looking at something that's about to kill me? I think that's to the game's benefit.
It's like, whoa, was that ghost making Nate hold that flashlight on the opposite side of his hand? That's crazy.
One of my favorite things, though, is kind of those clipping issues. It's like, I remember there was I took a screenshot of it where there was 3 of us were all standing inside of each other, and it made this horrible monster looking thing that I posted it somewhere in the Discord, but it's always hilarious with the little goofy things like that can happen.
Yeah, I remember.
We were like a Matryoshka doll of regret.
I remember crouching down and walking inside of Jeff and looking up and taking a picture of his teeth and eyeballs. It's just floating.
I love when you get inside skull models in games and you can see the teeth and eyes. That's always hilarious.
Yeah. One little thing that I thought was a good addition just for when you're sitting around in the little room waiting is they put a hoop and 2 basketballs in there with a point counter. So if somebody's really trying to decide what they want to take and you're already ready, you can go grab a basketball and shoot some hoops. It's not easy to make hoops, but you can do it.
Yeah, it's really hard to actually shoot that thing through the hoop.
Yeah, I had 7 points. I was like, yeah!
I feel like Phasmophobia character is the least physically competent hero in video game history. Was it Dalton? It was either Dalton or Jeff was like, is this guy just a really heavy smoker or what?
Yeah.
It's you take 5 faster, you hit the run button, you take 6 power walk steps, and then your character's just, and it makes a terrible hard breathing noise. It scares everyone else too.
Yes.
It does do that, which is kind of hilarious. But one other important mechanic I don't think we touched on at all is the fact that the game kind of runs on kind of like a Lovecraftian system where you have a sanity meter. And
that's true, yeah.
So the longer you stay in there in the dark or whatever, your sanity will drain down. And so the less sane you are, the more likely you are to experience ghost events. So there's a risk reward of going in when your sanity has gotten low, so that you might get more ghost activity to find what you're trying to find, but you also are more likely to get murdered by the ghost.
Actually, that brings up a good point as well, because that's one of the graphs you see in your truck. Another one that you tend to focus a lot on is your total activity meter, which from a scale from 0 to 10, it tells you, the activity of the ghost. So obviously, if it's at a 10, the ghost is right near the closest person, and when you try to contact that person, all you hear is static over the radio.
Yeah, that was when you knew something was up, and it was never good to see somebody's sanity turn into 2 question marks, because then that meant they're dead.
Yep.
There were some intense moments, and you wouldn't think that being in the van would be intense, but you're in charge of watching the cameras to see if there's anything around the guys that they might see. You have to watch their sanity meter. You have to keep everybody up on okay, Willie, your sanity just dropped below 50%. Keep that in mind. All right, thanks. That kind of thing. And then you also have to watch that activity meter and be like, yeah, it's just a 2 in the room. You guys are, oh my God, it's an 8. It's an 8. Guys, be careful. It's an 8. Oh, it's a 10. It's a 10. Get out of there. And then when it's a 10, they can't hear you, but you're still talking to them anyway. Please get out of there. Please get out of there. It's intense.
Plus, that whole time that you're in the van, you're also responsible for looking at the cameras, trying to see if there's any orbs around.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's you're trying to multitask doing all these things. And that was the time that I saw the ghost in the gym at the high school. Jeff was looking at the activity meter. And I saw the ghost, and I was like, Jeff, come and look at this. And by the time he got over there, it was gone, but there was still an orb going around. And in fact, I think it was us 3. It was before Nate had joined. We were doing one, and I saw orbs on the camera, and you guys were like, are you sure? Are you sure? And then when Nate joined in later, he was like, no, I was watching. Those were absolutely orbs, and they just went away. As soon as I tried to point it out, they were just gone. No,
it was hilarious because I was just sitting because Dalton was streaming it, and it was before I could join. It was going to join in the next game, and I was just watching Dalton screen the whole time. And he was sitting here yelling "There's orbs! There's orbs!" And then every time one of you two would come and try to look at the camera, the orbs would just go away. But every time I was looking at the screen with Dalton, there were actually definitely orbs there. And it was the most hilarious thing because I could see Dalton getting more and more frustrated, and you two were like, Dalton, what are you talking about, man?
It's like,
Michigan J Frog cartoon.
Yeah.
they are there.
The moment we look away, oh my baby.
Well, to be fair,
Oh, man.
when I was looking for orbs, I was expecting like giant like orbs, but it turns out they're just like tiny little things where if you don't see them, you will miss them. But eventually, or if you're lucky, you'll just see like a little white dot. That you think would be like dust or something. It's like, nope, that's an orb.
Yeah, and I think, like, say they do a Phasmophobia 2, and maybe they upgrade their engine some and stuff, dude, if they're able to do dust particling, like, that would be intense, because then you really have to be like, all right, is that actual dust, or is that an orb?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, real quick, something that we forgot to do, would you like to hear some obligatory Wikipedia bullshit about Phasmophobia?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Let's,
We got our intros in the outro, man.
Yeah, right? So, Phasmophobia is an investigative horror game developed and published by the indie game studio Connect Games. The game became available in early access through Steam and Microsoft Windows with virtual reality support in September of 2020. So yeah, just about a year ago. The game received a large influx of popularity in the following month due to very many well-known Twitch streamers and YouTubers playing it, mainly for the Halloween season. As of October 15th, 2020, the game was the 6th most popular game on Twitch, and it was the best-selling game on Steam globally for several weeks in October to November of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. And then...
Go ahead, finish up.
I was just going to say the development and stuff. It says the game was first seen on March 6, 2020, with its Steam page becoming live. The announcement trailer was released 3 months later, including VR support, which our buddy Laxby played it in VR, and apparently it's fucking terrifying.
Sounds intense in that mode, for real.
Yeah, absolutely. It was released in early access for $14, and then after the release, the game received 2 major updates regarding bug fixes in the following week. They missed some. D. Nider, that's a strange name, D. Nider, the founder and sole member of Kinetic Games, has stated that he hopes to release the full game somewhere in 2021, which I believe was the last update that we got finished up that. I could be wrong, though. But yeah, other than that, it's just got some stuff about popularity, saying that it was the best-selling game of the week. It beat out Fall Guys and pre-orders for Cyberpunk 2077 the week it was released.
I will point out that the last update for this game put it into version 0.3.1.2. So it's still a version 0 game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's still kind of early access. That makes sense.
So it might be out of early access, but not out of beta type.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm interested to see where this game will be in another year.
I will say I did purchase this game a year ago, and this is the first time I managed to play it.
Yep. Same here, bud. I bought it to play with the Game Buds, and then kind of missed that boat. So
yeah, everyone all of
I
a
had
sudden
been
just
just
starts
sitting
switching,
on it.
like a golf with your friends or a Jackbox, Shell Shock Live.
Yeah.
So I missed that.
Oh, Shell Shock was fun those couple weeks. Yeah, and I was glad though when we shifted away from Among Us, because it got to the point where, like, I guess there's only so many times you can accuse your friends of being liars before they start taking it personally. And
Yeah.
we did a lot of accusing, because it got to the point, like, I felt bad for Dave, because Dave just wouldn't talk, and people would be like, Dave's being quiet, he's sus, and kick him off, and then he would just not be the imposter. And things like that. And it got to the issue where, like, people were talking over one another and all of that. So, like, I was glad when people started pitching other games, and this just happened to be one of the ones that got pitched. Like I said, I just missed out on it. But I imagine playing with, like, I can only imagine playing this with John. And his voice, I love his voice. And I just picture him just being like, ah! Freaking the fuck out. Oh, that'd be great. But yeah, that's some Phasmophobia chat, gentlemen. Is there anything else that we'd like to touch on?
I think that's about all I have.
Are we giving number scores to this game, or are we going to say because it's in early access, maybe we should hold off for now?
I can give it a as of recording.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it'll be out of early access this time next year, and we'll be playing it again.
Yeah.
Halloween 2. Wait, no, that's a movie.
I'll give it a 7.5 Ghost Attacks, because I feel like that leaves it for room for improvement, but also doesn't shit on it, because it's pretty fucking good the way it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 7.5 EMF ratings out of 10 as well.
Let's see. Just give it like 5 times whatever I gave Blair Witch.
So a 2?
Aw. You're right. 7.5 is definitely a fair rank for this game. Because, like, this is one
Blair Witch is the only game you ever got mad at me for beating.
Yeah, right? But this game was so much fun to play with friends. Like, and I'm sure that enhances the overall value of the score of the game, because there is a single-player mode none was played. But at the same time, I feel like this is the intended way the game was meant to be played. So I think 7.5 is definitely super fair, and I'm excited to play this when it updates even more.
Well, I'm going to shake things up a little bit. I'm going to say this is a 8.5. Now, could that be influenced by the fact that I had such a great time playing with you guys? Probably. But I just think that, as well as just the enjoyment I had playing this game, I think this is it's very good. It does have room for improvement, but I think it's an 8.5.
And that makes sense, because I remember you saying that you didn't enjoy, or most horror games like didn't scare you, no. And that you said that this one like was good at being eerie and things like that. So yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
we all got to hear Jeff scream. I mean, come on.
What's up, Willie?
I just want to say I'm down to play with this some more if you guys want to like get rooms together anytime during the Halloween season. Like,
hell yes.
Like, pop me a query, and there's a chance I'll be into it. And if not all four of us can, maybe we could hit up Game Buds and see if any of the Tadpods
absolutely
for sure. Yeah,
I think Aries or Adam said something about him wanting to play, but good luck scheduling time with him.
Yeah,
he lives on the other side of the world. Their time zones are like -11 of us.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah. I try to remember that he's like 12 hours plus 2 hours ahead. So it's like 14 or 15 hours, something like that. So like right now it's like 2 p.m. tomorrow over there. The only other...
By the time it's tomorrow, it'll already be next year!
Zing! Zoon! The only thing I have to say is Kinetic Games. Give us a fucking Scooby-Doo DLC.
Dude. Zoinks.
Like, make the playable characters the crew, and then we go in after a ghost. A ghost!
And instead of locking the door, if you just go through the door, you come out a different hallway every time?
Yeah, exactly. It's just never-ending hallways. Now, that would be interesting. A horror game set, like where you're running from a ghost and stuff, but it's just a long hallway with infinite doors, and you just have to escape it for as long as possible.
Like Zoink Scoob! That's a good idea!
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have anything better to end on than that. So
perfect.
We love you all. Jeff, thanks for joining us this week, man. Nate, good to have you back.
Thanks for having me on, guys. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, you're great, man. I love having you on tonight.
You guys are great. You produce it's a good show. I love listening to this.
Oh, we love you too, buddy. And that about does it for this week's episode of Steam Machine Podcast. If you would like to check out anything to do with our show, social media, all of that jazz, you can go to bit.ly/The Steam Machine Podcast and just capitalize each of those words, each first letter of those words, and like it's a proper noun. I don't need to explain it 3 times in a row. You know what I fucking mean. Bit.ly/Steam Machine Podcast takes you to our website, has all the links to our social medias and stuff like that. And then you also have bit.ly/TSMP Discord, which is all caps, every single one of them motherfuckers. And that'll give you a link to the Discord. Come join, vote on the games, chat with us about video games. The crew is growing in there slowly but surely. I love to see new people join in and chat with them about whether there's been a lot of JRPG talk and stuff lately, and I'm fucking all about that. It's been making me happy. Other than that, the Patreon. If you'd like to go to patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast, just $1 will get you early access to the episodes whenever I'm done. Yes, just one, Jeff, just one. Just one will get you access to the episodes early, and whenever I'm done editing them is when you guys get them. And if you want to donate $10 or more each month, then you get a special shout out by name on each episode. Which, yes, thumbs up to you guys. You guys rock.
No, just a Nate. Just a Nate. I'm pointing at Nate.
I'm pointing at you, but not with my fingers.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then, like, if you just want a cool-ass shirt with our logo on it, or maybe one of my album covers on it, you can go to tsmpproductions.threadless.com and check all that out. Other than that, Nate, hit him with your Twitch, buddy, and then we can get out of here.
Yeah, man, hit me up. I'm on Twitch and Twitter and now TikTok at Turtle Bear Man. So come catch me live on stream or catch me in those other 2 places just to enjoy some stupidity that I put out into the world. Love to have you there.
Yeah, it's a good.
Jeff, you got
Well, I
any
got
thoughts?
this right here that I'm supposed to read. My balls are big. Who wrote this?
There you go.
Who wrote that?
Fantastic.
It was a
You
fucking
laid-
ghost again.
It was.
Wait, no, you wrote that when Dalton was talking about his dreams. Hold on, what were you dreaming about, Dalton?
Jeff's big balls, obviously.
Is this your handwriting?
Sir, is this your card? Then I'll end it on a rec. Go check out my buddy's YouTube channel, Oak City Gamers. His name's Matt. Shout out to him. He said that he would love to come on anytime we do Crazy Taxi because he loves Crazy Taxi.
Nice.
But they're cool guys, man. They go out and they do like thrifting runs and they film it and they make it funny. I enjoy watching those guys. Oak City Gamers on YouTube. Check them out. And again, Jeff, Nate, thanks for joining us this week, guys. And as always, you dear listeners, take it easy.